We all remember the Cambridge Analytica Facebook scandal that occurred during the 2016 presidential election. Well, shortly after that story broke, the world quickly became very concerned about online privacy and data security. Legislators around the world started working to regulate how online data is used, and one of the resulting regulations put into place was GDPR. Privacy nuts won't shut up about GDPR, and it's worth learning why, because it's changed the way you use the internet. You're watching the Deets, a show where we demystify the technologies that are shaping the future. I'm your host, Riley Wynn. On this episode of the Deets, our viewers can get any premium Indochino suit for just $369 at Indochino.com when you enter the promo code DigitalTrends at checkout. Indochino is the clothing company that's famous for its chino pants. I've got a pair of them, they're comfy, stay cool, fit great, and their suits are the same way. That's 50% off the normal price and shipping is free. Incredible deal for premium made-to-measure suit. That's Indochino.com, promo code DigitalTrends for any premium suit and free shipping. GDPR, GDPR, GDPR. I'm throwing around that acronym like everyone knows what it means. And if you did, you probably still wouldn't be watching. But the truth is, a lot of people don't know what the acronym stands for, let alone what GDPR is and does. What does GDPR stand for, and what is it?
GDPR. I know GDP. Miss Swanson in AP Gov would be proud of me. That's gross domestic product. Gross domestic product revenue.
Global development population ratio. I don't know. I'm trying my best here.
Gross domestic product revenue. No idea.
You looked like you knew you'd heard it before.
I'm just ashamed of myself. I don't know.
GDPR stands for General Data Protection Regulation, and it's a piece of legislation created by the European Union. GDPR is likely to have the biggest day-to-day impact on the operations of corporations and online businesses. Its main purpose, though, is to protect internet users like you and me. As part of the GDPR's implementation, we have a number of new powerful rights when it comes to our online information and data. That data can be something as public as your name, or something as personal as your medical information. If a company or other online entity collects it or processes that information in any capacity, they are bound to protect it and offer a number of services to protect that data. The first of these new online rights for people is the right to be informed about what data is being collected, how it's being used, and how long it'll be retained for. That means sites like Facebook have far more in-depth privacy policies and have to update them regularly as new data uses are employed. Companies may still be able to collect and store data, but not leverage it like they were able to do in the past. Perhaps the most important power the GDPR gives internet users is related to the right to objection and profiling. Effectively, any website or service which uses personal data for direct marketing or for creating a profile of a person for other means can be requested to cease such operations by the affected user. Companies like Google and Facebook collect your information and data to create specialized ads and campaigns targeted towards you. So if you notice your ads are becoming creepily spot on, you can request for that to be stopped. Before GDPR, that wasn't an option. The last GDPR regulation put into place is probably the one you see the most often. It's called the GDPR breach notification. And from its name, you can kind of infer what it means. But basically, if the name, address, date of birth, health records, bank details, or any private or personal data about a customer is breached, the company who is breached has to tell those who were affected, and they have to alert them directly. A press release or an announcement on social media is not going to cut it. Some recent examples of this are the Equifax and Capital One hacks. These companies are spending millions of dollars in alerting those who were affected. Ultimately, GDPR and other privacy regulations aim to make the web a safer place for its users. Not too long ago, we used to be bombarded with pop-ups, newsletter sign-ups, and more, but now websites can't throw stuff in your face as much, or at least they have to ask to do it first anyways. Speaking of permission, have you ever heard of cookies? Well, cookies are a packet of data that's sent to a web browser by an internet server. Then the data is returned every time that server is accessed. So basically what that means is it allows web browsers and websites to track you and load information and sites quicker to you. Before GDPR, this all was happening without consent. Although Facebook faced a lot of heat with GDPR, all companies and websites were put on notice after the Cambridge Analytica scandal. But you may be thinking, why would a US company like Facebook have to worry about regulations in Europe? Well, due to the nature of the internet, or World Wide Web, regulations like GDPR have far-reaching consequences for individuals and companies around the globe. It is of real importance that organizations take these new regulations seriously, as there are severe sanctions in place should GDPR compliance be broken. While there are low-level sanctions such as a written warning for first offenses or non-intentional non-compliance, regular data protection audits can follow. And from there, the repercussions become very steep. Facebook was recently fined by the Federal Trade Commission for $5 billion because of privacy missteps during the Cambridge Analytica scandal. Although this was the largest fine in FTC history, it honestly is just a drop in the giant pond that is Facebook. We hope that these fines will be a wake-up call for big companies like Facebook and Google to be more ethical and transparent with our online data. 97% of companies use data to drive business, which means our data is our most valuable resource, and it needs protecting from the tech giants. With regulations like GDPR, we hope it can prevent another abuse of data like Cambridge Analytica from ever happening again. What are some things you do to protect your data? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, I'm Riley Wynn with Digital Trends, and thanks for watching.